Hello, sports fans, and welcome back to God Next Gaming and a new episode, number 3, in fact, of our Kansas City rebuild. Not much of a rebuild. We kind of won the Super Bowl already with our first season, just making a couple of minor moves. Nothing too fantastic. But in our second season here, we did the offseason in the last episode, and we made some significant moves. We got rid of a lot of the older players that we had here on the team, including Jamal Charles. We moved him off as well. And we take a look here to see what we look like right now. I moved the pieces I did to try to get some draft picks to kind of solidify the defense. I had some question marks on the defense as far as like the secondary goes. I brought in Bradley Roby. He did not upgrade the way I thought he would. And then I drafted McCollum here, who's a 78 overall. So we're kind of suffering as far as like cornerbacks go and things like that. But we definitely need to try to find a way to get this team better. So we have a trade offer for Fulton here. We're going to take a look at that. We went out and got Muhort. We added him to the team. That kind of pushed us over the edge for the Super Bowl. We needed that help on the offensive line. Here's Zach Fulton. We'll take a look at him quickly. 83 pass block, 73 run block, and we're getting offers for him. So we may want to take a look at those offers, and we take a look at Muhort, who's got kind of a more balanced thing to him there with an 84. So let's take a look and see what they're offering. They're offering draft picks here, round 2s, round 3s, a bunch of round 4s. Here's a round 2 and a round 7 from Seattle. I think we wind up going with Buffalo here, who has a better second-round pick and then a 6th-round pick. And we'll accept this offer here. We'll do that right there in a second. But yeah, we move off a left guard who used to be the starter, and we don't really have much of a need for him at this point. We have plenty of depth on the offensive line. In my estimation, not really worried about that kind of aspect of it. But we do definitely need to kind of take a look around because there's some work that needs to be done. We're going to go ahead and bring in Gaddis from our practice squad. We're going to add him in because we, again, need depth at the cornerback position is one of my biggest concerns, one of the biggest questions on this team. I mean, after Marcus Peters, we have nothing else. So Sheldon Gaddis looks pretty good. He's got some decent numbers here. He's a rookie out of Rutgers. We're going to give him a shot. We'll put him up on the NFL team here and see what happens. We'll sign up from the practice squad and give him an opportunity to show what he can do for us here with this team. So here's Fernando Shiniko. We're going to bring him in as well. He's a 70 overall. We're going to sign him to the practice squad and see what he can do for us going forward as well. So now we'll take another quick look here and see what we come away with. The practice squad now is complete and full of some players, and we got players kind of moved around in all spots here. So you know what? Let's go ahead and make a decision here. We're going to say 8 wins because I don't want to get fired in my second season. I don't feel like we're even going to make the playoffs at this point. Again, I think the defense is a question. We moved Tamba Hali out. We picked up a draft pick for him, and then we went out and drafted some guys. And I just don't feel like, you know, that I think the playoffs are going to be a tall order for this team now, as it does definitely go to a rebuild kind of stage after our run through the Super Bowl and a win. But we want to see if we can build a dynasty here, and that's kind of what we're doing. That's why we moved some of the older pieces off and got rid of Jamal Charles. I kind of felt like, you know, over 30, he's not going to be as effective for us, and we definitely need to consider that. So we get into week 9, and we take a look at our records at 2-5, and yeah, so it looks like Travis Kelce has been cleared from an injury, so it looks like he's been injured for most of the time there, or some of the time in those first 8 weeks, and that's not too good for us there. That kind of hurts, especially since his backup is a 72. That's a sharp drop-off, and Travis Kelce is a game-changing player, and that's probably what does it right there. And then we look at Tariq Hill, who's hurt for 2 weeks as well, and he is one of our starting wide receivers, so that doesn't bode too well as we take a look at some stuff here. So we take a look at the stats, and it looks like Smith has had to be replaced a couple times by his backup, but he's got 14 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. We'll take that. It's not terrible. We definitely want to expect more, though. Spencer Ware is having a decent season here with 479 yards and 4 touchdowns. And Nile Davis is filling in nicely as the second running back with 3 touchdowns as we take a look at the whole running back core. Underwhelming to say the least. But we take a look at our wide receivers, and Macklin's at the top of the list along with Tariq Hill. So Tariq Hill must have just gotten hurt. And Kelce, even though he was hurt, still has 31 catches for 376 yards and 5 touchdowns. But Conley, 6 touchdowns as a slot receiver. Nice. Kind of like seeing stuff like that. That makes me feel like we got good depth here at the wide receiver position, and I don't think the offense here is necessarily a problem. As we take a look at the defensive stats, though, we can definitely see some issues here. When you're halfway through the season and your strong safety is the leading tackler on the team, that is a problem. That means they're getting into the secondary and deep into the secondary. Wilson kind of rounds it out second, and Derek Johnson, who has, although I thought about actually trading off and moving, is up there as well, along with Peters. Houston filling in and doing his things. And here is a linebacker, Dottie Nicholas. I don't even know who he is, but he's kind of up there with 30 tackles as well. Makes me kind of wonder. Howard has 4.5 sacks. Chris Jones has 3 sacks. And here's DeAndre McCollum, the rookie who has 28 tackles and doing what he has to do. But here it is. This is the story right here. 22nd in defensive yards. And we're going to take a look at the points scored against us. See, the offense is doing decent enough. 32nd in points allowed. 228 points allowed. That is not good. But we take a look at some of the awards kind of halfway through, and Jamal Charles is leading the way for Offensive Player of the Year, and the Jets are 6-2. Did we make a mistake? 742 yards halfway through with 10 touchdowns? Unbelievable. And their backup and their second back has 8 touchdowns as well. Unbelievable right there. Their run offense is completely sick on the Jets, and everybody knows I'm a Jet fan. That's my team. Nice to see them doing well here. Anyway, we're going to sim the rest of the way and finish off this season to see what comes about. Again, I don't expect playoffs here because this team definitely needed some work in the defense, and we saw that halfway through. And yes, we come through it, and the season is over, and we did not make the playoffs. We had a rough season, I am sure, and we're going to take a look and see where the mistakes happened. But here is Ware, who was out for 2 weeks, so he got hurt somewhere along the way. Alex Smith is also out for 4 weeks. He had a partial ACL tear, so he was out for some time. And then D Ford, the linebacker, 36 weeks with a broken femur. That's absolutely terrible. We take a look. I just wanted to see Alex Smith wound up playing 9 games, so he didn't play the full season for us, and that's going to hurt things. And we finish off 6-10, so not bad. We pick up 4 wins along the way, and we go 4 for 5 the rest of the season, which isn't terrible, but still not what we expected out of a team that just won the Super Bowl, and they go and bring back a 6-10 performance afterwards. We'll take a look at some of the stats here, and it looks like Joel Stave, the backup quarterback, is leading or is the leader of the team there. Our defensive yards, 23rd, points scored 14th for offense, so the offense fell off a little bit, but our points allowed, 468, 29th, one of the worst defenses in the league, and that's exactly what we're going to have to work on. So we take a look at the splits here for Stave and Smith, and we can see that Smith had 15 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Didn't do much after his halfway mark, but 17 and 15 for Stave is definitely not a good backup. We'll have to find somebody who can fill in a little bit better. Spencer, before he got hurt, at 852 yards with 6 touchdowns. And Chandrick West filled in nicely, getting 7 touchdowns, but only 292 yards. So he wasn't used a lot, maybe mostly in short yardage or in the red zone anyway. Macklin, 93 for 1,000 yards. Kelsey, 836 yards for 7 touchdowns. And Conley, 800 yards for 8 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill did come back, picks up 5 touchdowns with 776 yards, 93, 72, 70, 60 in the receptions. Not bad. Still looks pretty good, even though the offense did have its issues here and there. Fisher is definitely a problem and a question mark. He has got 19, gives up 19 sacks. We'll take a look at that a little bit later on in this, and we'll see what goes on. Wilson leads the way with tackles, 128, and also Steve Nelson's up there, 115 tackles. Again, says a lot when your strong safety is getting a lot of tackles on the team. He also had 5 interceptions, so that was a nice move by us to put him at the strong safety spot. It suits him well. Derek Johnson's up there. Houston's up there. Peters is up there with 5 interceptions as well, and that we kind of expected. As we see also down the list a little bit is Chris Jones, who's got 13.5 sacks, and Dontari Poe with 7.5 sacks. So we have a pretty good core of players, but we definitely need some help as far as these things go. We'll take a look at some of the awards here. DeAndre McCollum comes up in 5th for Defensive Rookie of the Year, as it looks like he kind of contributed and didn't do too bad. Jamal Charles wins Best Running Back. We take a look at, and we'll take a look at him later on too. We take a look at Eric Fisher, and his problem is the pass block. This is a passing team. He's a 72 in the pass block. That's something we're definitely going to have to address because he's a zone blocking left tackle, not fitting for us. We take a look at Aaron Hamler here, who's a 75 overall as a left tackle. He's got an 84 pass block. We may put him in as a starter and just kind of part ways with Fisher altogether, or see if we can move him and see what happens. But here it is. The Saints and the Patriots are in the Super Bowl, and this should be interesting as the Saints win this one and take it down the Patriots. We're gonna have to make some offers here for contracts. We offer Mew Horde a contract. We're gonna offer Spencer a contract, and they're both going to accept and stay with the team. Those are good signs right there. We definitely need these guys on there. We're gonna re-sign our right guard. I can't even begin to pronounce his name there. Tardif, 81 overall. We'll take him. DeAnthony Thomas, I love him as a returner, and he's a 71 overall at this point, but he's 25 years old. He's young. He's got great speed, and we'll keep him as our returner. Jay Howard did decently for us throughout the season. We like him, even though he's a 76. He's got pretty good numbers around him otherwise, but we're going to make him an offer, and he wants to go test out free agency, so see you around. Bradley Roby, we traded the second round pick for him, so we're going to re-sign him as well and see if we can't kind of develop him along a little bit better than we have. Now time to take a look at some free agents and see if we can't pick somebody up along the way here that can kind of fill in some spots. We definitely need some help with quarterback. Alex Smith has got maybe a year or two left in him. We're going to have to kind of address that going forward. We definitely want to figure out the left tackle spot as well. We want to get rid of Fisher. Here is Donald Penn, 35 years old, but he's still an 85 overall. And we see his pass block number is exactly where we want it to be, and he's got 96 awareness. It's going to be tough to try to sign him, but we're going to make him an offer and see if it kind of sticks. We don't have much cap room. He's looking for a 1 year, 11. We're going to offer him 7 years, and hopefully that helps us out. Nobody else is making an offer on him yet. It's 29 points. It's not very high. He's not happy about it, but we're also going to take a look at McCarron here, Agent McCarron, see if we can get ourselves a better backup and possibly go for him. But here we are. We're going to make the trade for Eric Fisher. We get ourselves a third pick number 1 in round 3. We're going to try to see if we can make that happen. So we're going to offer up Eric Fisher and 2 fourth-round picks for the number 3 pick overall in the draft. And it works, folks. I was not thinking that this was going to work at all. 2 fourth-rounders and a left tackle who's an 80 overall. They liked it. They took it. San Francisco wants him. We got the number 3 pick in the draft, and hopefully we can make something happen with that pick. We're going to need it to make this defense work in a very big way. So now we got to talk about what we're going to do as far as development goes. Signing free agents is going to be tough. We don't have the cap room for it. We are able to move Fisher. Penn does not accept our offer. He goes with another team. We're going to go ahead and advance here to the point where we're going to go into the draft and see what we can come away with here, because it's just time. It's time to do the draft and see what we get. We did a lot of scouting, and there's a lot of players that I looked at. I put some players on my watch list, and we're going to see what we can get. But the number 3 pick here is going to be an interesting one. It's like I kind of go back and forth a little bit here because we had 2 guys at the top of the list here that were looking very intriguing. Darryl Flynn, left outside linebacker, and Savon Goss, right outside linebacker. Both of them with great grades here as far as their top 3 skills go. 7.3 combine and a 7.0 combine grade. These were really tough here. I went back and forth scrutinizing them to make sure that I didn't make the wrong pick here. I had to be sure that I was going to get the player that I wanted. And we do go for Darryl Flynn. He's considered number 1 overall in true talent. We pick him at number 3. Season 81 overall, so he'll plug in right away and start for us there in the left outside linebacker spot. We'll move Houston over to right outside linebacker, and we should look pretty good on the linebacking core for now. That's going to be a huge upgrade over what we had and what we were doing, and that should be big for us. So now we have the number 11 pick here, and this is going to be one of those, like, do we go for a cornerback type of deals? And, we definitely need the help there. He's got a 6.8 grade. He's got some pretty decent skills. But here's Andrew Valles, too. I was thinking about picking him up. This is the guy who I wanted in the draft as far as quarterbacks go, and I thought that he would be a really good quarterback for us. We decided to go with Kent Culver, a wide receiver. Don't know why I really did this. Not really sure, but he's a 76 overall, and he's considered 24th, so it was a decent pick. He's got quick development. Spectacular catch is a 92, and his catch in traffic is an 88. This guy's going to develop into something pretty decent, I am certain for sure. So it wasn't a bad pick at all. Not what I really wanted to do. I should have went for the quarterback, I think, and we'll see that later on as I take a look at it. But here we're going to go for a halfback, and it's going to be number 6. He's considered number 6 overall. He's a 75. He's a speed back. Kind of need somebody to replace, what we lost in Jamal Charles. It's one of those things. We need somebody to replace. He's a good speed back here. He'll complement Ware. If anything, we can move Ware over to fullback and kind of get these guys kind of working together in the backfield to see what we get for that. So he should plug in nicely for us as well, and consider that a pretty good pick. In the 4th round, we are looking to get some draft picks back, maybe this year or next year. Doesn't really matter per se, but we weren't really liking what was on the draft board. So we take the trade offer. We get a number 3 and a number 7 for a 4th round. Here in the 6th round, they're going to offer us a number 4 round next season. I'm sorry, the season after, and we'll take that as well. We'll jump on those all day long. So now we see what we have here. We picked up Thibodeau, wide receiver as well. That was kind of a sim pick, and so was the middle linebacker in hand. Here is Andrew Valles. He's a 76 overall. We're going to take a look at his numbers. I wanted this guy. He's a superstar in development. Throw power 91. His accuracies are all up there. He needs to work on his awareness. 76 overall, but this guy's going to be a fantastic quarterback, and I should have went for him at number 11, but I did not, and I'm sorry that I did that. It's the 2nd year in a row that I had the quarterback of the draft picked, and I knew he was going to be something special, and he just does not fall to me at all. He goes at number 31, and I missed out on him there. I thought I could get him in the early 2nd round. Now we take a look around. We have some moves to make here as far as the defense goes. We have Flynn stuck in there. We also have Houston in there as well, and Wilson with Derek Johnson kind of backing him up. We have McCullum, who's a 79 overall now, and looking a little bit better. So we're in the preseason, and we're going to get things together here as we're going to start plugging to see what we got to fill in and what moves we can make to kind of improve the team before we start. And funny enough, Jamal Charles and Adrian Peterson are at the top of the free agent pile here. 84 overall, he's 31, and Adrian Peterson's an 81 overall. And we're going to try to see if we can just, you know what, bring Jamal Charles back for another tour here before he retires. We'll bring him back in. I mean, you can't go wrong here. He did fantastic for the Jets. So we're going to sign him for that 1 year, $4.92 million, and just bring him in and put him in there. We're going to move Ware over to fullback. So he'll be a 75. That gives us a huge upgrade there. We have West and Jeffries backing up Charles. And this offense is looking formidable once again. Alex Smith is definitely going to have to be replaced down the road. We fix up the defense a little bit here, put Bailey in over at right end, and it's looking a little bit more solid as far as the defense goes. Still needs some tweaks here and there, but it shouldn't be too bad this season. It should be much better than what it was last season for sure. There should be a huge upgrade over what we had last season, as that was a complete kind of wash and a loss for us there. But we got to set the season goal here for the Kansas City Chiefs going into our 3rd season. We'll do that in the next episode. Thank you guys for checking this out. Leave your comments and let me know what you want to do as far as going forward. But we can see we lost Houston for half the season with 8 weeks with a ruptured disc. That's going to hurt. But I still think that this defense can do something special. Anyway, thank you again. I'll see you around the channel, and bye-bye now.